Local 911 dispatchers have recently come under fire from people who say their emergency calls go unanswered. News Channel 6's Dee Griffin is digging deeper to get to the bottom of this issue. Dee?
Well, Brad, we've covered issues with 911 in the past, but lately I've noticed an increase in people on social media blasting 911 dispatch for slow responses or not answering calls at all. Well, as I learned, there have been three main factors causing problems. Too many calls from one location at a time, a serious staffing shortage, and non-emergency calls being made to the emergency line.
911, do you need police, fire, or ambulance?
911 dispatch, the first line of defense when it comes to local emergencies. And often the first place people turn when things go seemingly wrong, no matter how big or small.
We get phone calls for people needing case numbers or want to talk to a deputy regarding a situation they handled, or where's the local DMV. So situations that are non-emergency that we handle on the non-emergency line are also calls that we receive on 911 that are non-emergent, that we have to divert them over.
According to 911 Emergency Services Director Daniel Dunlap, in 2023, the 911 Center received 223,000 calls. Well, the U.S. Census shows in 2022, the population of Augusta was at 202,096. That means last year, the number of calls surpassed the total number of residents.
This year, up through the end of July, we've already answered 127,000. So we are certainly on pace to break last year's numbers. But at the same time, the numbers for our non-emergency lines have also increased.
So have the complaints about 911 dispatch. You may have seen the post on social media. When there's an emergency, many people say their calls to 911 go unanswered.
We don't want to discourage anyone from reporting an emergency. It's important for us to know what's going on. At the same time, when there's an incident where multiple people are calling, it's also important for us to ensure that we're getting the most accurate information.
And I wanted to know, what does this mean? Should everyone call 911 during an accident?
That's where it's tough, Dee. It's tough because we want to be able to pass on the most critical of information. But it does tie us up when we have a minor fender bender or a small wreck that may be impeding traffic, or it may look bad, and we have several people calling to report the same emergency.
Dunlap says staffing issues have left many seats unfilled in the dispatch center and posed a big obstacle leading to the phone frustration.
There are times where the number of calls outnumbers the number of staff and personnel we have available to answer the call, because they're not just answering calls.
Net 28 dispatch.
They're also working radios to dispatch police, fire, and EMS.
But after seeing a decrease for so long, things appear to be looking up in staffing.
We got the blessing from the commission for a salary increase, which was desperately needed. Since then, we did post, and we actually have a group of 12 new hires coming on next week.
Even with an increase in staffing, Dunlap says when it comes to 911 dispatch, the community plays a big role on the first line of defense.
And it's important that the public know that we need them to help us so we can send the help to them.
While callers should notice changes in response soon due to the increase in staffing, this doesn't mean people should still call 911 for non-emergency situations. There is an actual non-emergency line you should use. Also, Dunlap says there are new informational segments called Teachable Tuesdays on the Augusta, Georgia 911 Center's Facebook page that provide tips and insight to save lives. So if you burn some chicken on the stove, don't call 911. If you're mad about your trash pickup, don't call 911, okay? Let's all keep that in mind. We'll be right back.